Hey everybody, welcome back to a new severe weather video. And in today's video, we have a pretty interesting topic to discuss. We have a chance for a severe weather outbreak that was predicted by the SPC for day 4 probabilistic. We have a slight risk, or 15%, outlined in yellow here, and this really goes for, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, and even parts of Minnesota. And of course, it's pretty far out still, but the general look seems to be just kind of everything. Now, we're going to take a further look at that here in a couple of minutes as I go over the locations and what people could expect for this type of weather. However, but that's not the only day that we have that. If we go to day 5, we also have another slight risk outlined here in the yellow, in the pink. Let me switch that color actually. The severe weather is outlined in yellow, and again, this goes for most parts of Iowa, parts of northern Missouri, parts of northwestern to northern Illinois, and even parts of Kansas and Nebraska, all included in that slight risk. Now, again, we're gonna go over what the storms could look like and how, strong they could be and what the threats could include. But just to give a basic overview, mostly going to be, just everything. So let's jump actually right into that. So let's go to the HRRR model, and let's go to the. I'm gonna go to the. Let's first check out the North Plains, or no, let's check out the North Central. So this will show us everything. So first, let's take a look at the temperatures for this day. So when we push this forward, so this is HRRR, that's for short term. Let's go to the European, because that goes 10 days out. So if we go ahead and push this along, you'll see temperatures will rise, but then you can kind of see a cold front begin to develop here with the low pressure system that is included right along that line. It's small, but it's still there, which is sparking up that severe weather threat. And then it gets hot. After that day 4 and 5 kind of threat, it gets hot. See, temperatures, and at least for this projection on the European, could reach upwards of 90 in some areas. Mostly in extreme southern South Dakota, but I mean isolated temperatures of 87, 85 could get up into North Dakota, or I'm sorry, not North Dakota. If we further push this along, you see temperatures still are pretty hot. They just not as hot, and then you kind of get a push through, and then temperatures sit back in the 60s and 70s for North Dakota, South Dakota. So let's take a look at severe weather. First, we're going to take a look at the lightning flash rate. And if we go ahead and take a look at the lightning flash rate, it will show us what the storms could look like and how intense they could be. So starting off with the instant flash rate, which is the best projection for how strong a storm would be. See, here's on that day, that kind of severe weather threat that they are pointing out. It seems to be confined, and I mean not in this. It seems to be confined further back. Again, this is very far out. This is day 4's threat. We'll go into day 5 threat here very shortly. But you'll see the storms kind of just train. They'll kind of surf. They will kind of move right along quickly. They won't be lasting. Now this could show a damaging wind threat. If we go to the flash rate from the 3-hour average, so every 3 hour, the average. It's another weather projection. You can see it becomes more prominent up here and then it kind of quickly fades out as it drops. And you can see there's more storms up here. And this is about 72 hours out, which is along that day 4 or 5 threat. It even could be a secondary threat, but and now let's take a look at the surface cape, or how much storm energy there is in joules per kilogram. There's definitely some. Doesn't seem too concerning, though. Seems more concerning back up in here, but obviously too rocky for any tornadoes. Actually, wait. This would be day 4's threat. I think. I'm not sure what this is right here. I'm actually really not sure. General thunderstorm. Oh, I know what this is. This is day 3's threat. Sorry about that. I was way off. This is day 3's threat. General thunderstorm risk. That'll slide through. Here's day 4's threat. You'll see. We could get upwards of 4 to 5. About 4 to 5,000 some areas for joules per kilogram, which is how much storm juice there is, or how severe they can get, how much energy they can feed off of to grow. And that will move south, and then here's that day 5 threat, which is linked down here, which I will further show. Further show. And that'll slide out. But if we go back to the lightning rate instant, so here's day 3's threat, nothing too significant. So this would be day 4's threat right here. So any storms that form would have definitely enough energy here to form. So we have some extending all the way up here, but right in that slight risk seems to be this general area. Again, this will update, so this is probably going to change. But that'll move out, and then here would be, or this would be day 4. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I keep getting everything wrong today. This would be day 4, right in that kind of 4 to 5,000 area. You can see these very high flash rates. These show intense storms. And we will take a further look. I'll make another video too when it's about a day or 2 out to show like the really kind of close in-depth analysis of the storms to kind of give a better perspective on how severe they could be. So those will slide out, and that'll move into the day 5 threat through Iowa, which is again still in that 4 to 5,000 range for joules per kilogram, or storm juice. And then let's take a look at the surface low, or the low pressure. The low pressure that will slide through. So if we pull up the not northern hemisphere, the United States here, and let's take a look at Actually, I suppose we could take a look at the future radar as well to see after these storms. So here's the low pressure system, or that's day 3's. Here's day 4's. It pops up right here. It'll cause some storms, and then day 5 it'll cause some further storms down through here in Iowa, and a large portion of Wisconsin, and into northern to even southern Minnesota. And then this is still being updated. This is only about, and then that'll slide into another possible day further down here, into staying mostly confined to this area, but that is yet to be upgraded or determined by the SPC, and that'll eventually slide off. And then, but we could have another system that develops back over here in the same spot that could cause another potential severe weather outbreak along this line here. As it would push off, it would cause severe weather basically in this general area. If that forms, again, SPC still yet to decide. Let's take a look at long-term temperatures too. So let me pull up the long-term temperatures right now. So actually, take a look at the surface lows. So it's 500 millibar, which shows the surface lows. So we have one surface low that will finish up sliding through here, which could cause some rain on Friday for the northeast, and then here, which whenever I make the video, I'll go over that. Whenever I make the video closer to the severe weather outbreak, I'll go over the rain. And then where's that low? Here's the system right up here. It's not really defined, unless I missed it, which is not really defined. Ah, here it is. I guess you could say this is it. So this is it right here, and that'll slide off, causing those storms, which will pull in these strong winds, which will eventually which will cause a dip in the jet stream. It's very small, but it's very subtle, as you can see. If we trace this out here, it goes down and then up. So that's the system that will be causing all of that when the storms move through. Very strong upper level wind speed, so could cause some strong winds, which would pose a wind threat with the storms that happen on those days, which could expand into even further south into Iowa. It could even expand further down into the greater lake regions. Let's take a look at the temperatures now for the long term. So here's that low pressure system. You'll see it'll come across, and you can see it'll carry through Iowa. I don't know if you can really see that there. You can see it slides right across there, and then it kind of fizzles out, but it could form something else. And then you can see another one kind of forms off that one low pressure system right here. If I play this back and forth, you can see that kind of color line up in Minnesota and Wisconsin become less, which would indicate another possible weather outbreak. If we even push it even further out to 138 hours out, then we could have another classic Midwest storm. Given by this very sharp line here, we have, another possible severe weather outbreak that pops out. And again, that's 200 hours out. If that does hold true, I will definitely make a video on that, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, that's all I have, I think, for you guys. Today was just kind of another one of the long-term outlooks. A long-term outlook for the severe weather of the United States, And I'll just play this animation for you But that's all I have for you guys. I will be posting another video closer to when that severe weather outbreak happens. To give more of an in-depth for the storm intensity, because we're so far out, we don't have a good look on it yet. But yeah, I will post another video on that. So I will see everybody in the next video. Goodbye.